The phone rang at 3 in the morning, and the voice on the other end belonged to a 6-year-old girl who should have been sleeping. "Daddy," she whispered, her tiny voice trembling like a leaf in a storm, "please come home now. The lady with the red eyes says she is going to hurt Lily and Lucas. She has fire in her hands, Daddy. I am scared." And in that moment, the most powerful vampire lord in the Eastern Territory felt something he had not experienced in 400 years. Pure, paralyzing terror. Now, before we dive deeper into this emotional journey, I need your help. My ex-boyfriend said I am a failure, and can never be successful telling stories on YouTube, because nobody will subscribe to a failure's channel. Please subscribe now, let's prove him wrong. It will be a shame if what he said about me happens. Please help this young lady gain her confidence back, and please tell me where you are watching from right now. Drop your location in the comments because I would love to know where my amazing viewers are tuning in from and to prove to him that people around the world now watch my channel. So let me take you back to the story where this all began. Damien Valerius had not set foot in his own mansion for 3 days. He stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows of his downtown penthouse, watching the city lights flicker like dying stars beneath him. His reflection stared back, perfect and unchanging, the same face he had worn since 1647. Dark hair swept back from a face carved from marble, eyes the color of aged whiskey that had seen empires rise and crumble to dust. He pressed his palm against the cold glass and felt nothing. That was the problem with immortality. After 4 centuries, everything felt like nothing. Every sunrise was just another reminder that he would outlive everyone foolish enough to love him. So he had stopped allowing it. Love was a human weakness, and he had shed his humanity long ago. Or so he had convinced himself. 30 miles away, in a modest apartment with cracks in the ceiling and hope on the walls, a woman named Iris was tucking her daughter into bed. "Mama," little May whispered, clutching her stuffed rabbit, "do you think you will ever come back?" Iris smoothed her daughter's dark hair, her heart clenching at the question she had dodged for 6 years. "Sweetheart, some people are not meant to stay. But that does not mean we are not enough." She kissed May's forehead, turned off the lamp, and walked to the kitchen where the bills were stacked like accusations. Single mother. Nurse working double shifts. A woman who had loved a monster once and paid for it with her entire life. She did not know that 20 miles away, in a mansion she had never seen, 2 babies slept in a nursery painted with moons and stars. Twins she did not know existed. Twins who shared her daughter's blood. And she certainly did not know that tonight, everything was about to collide. The call shattered everything Damien thought he knew about control. He materialized at the mansion gates in seconds, his vampire speed turning the 30-mile distance into a blur of shadows and desperation. The iron gates recognized his presence and swung open, but something was wrong. He could smell it before he saw it. Smoke. Fear. And something ancient and dangerous. May stood on the front steps in her pink pajamas, her small body trembling as she clutched her phone in both hands. The phone he had given her secretly. The phone her mother did not know about. The phone he had programmed with only one number because even though he had abandoned Iris, he could never fully abandon the child they had created together. His greatest secret. His deepest shame. "Daddy," May cried, running toward him. Her tiny arms wrapped around his legs, and he felt something crack inside his chest. "She's inside with the babies. She keeps screaming about how you ruined her life." Damien knelt down, his cold hands cupping his daughter's warm face. "May, look at me. How did you get here? How did you know about this place?" "The lady brought me," May whispered. "She came to our apartment when Mama was sleeping. She said she wanted to show me my real family. She said Mama was keeping secrets." Damien's blood turned to ice. He had spent 6 years keeping these worlds separate. Iris and May in their humble apartment, never knowing about his wealth or his twins with another woman. Vivian and the twins in this mansion, never knowing about the human family he had left behind. 2 lives. 2 lies. And now someone had torn down the walls between them. "Stay here," he commanded May, his voice harder than he intended. "Do not move. Do not come inside no matter what you hear." He burst through the front doors and froze. The nursery was destroyed. Cribs overturned. Stuffed animals scattered like casualties of war. And in the center of the chaos stood Vivian, her red hair wild around her face, flames dancing in her palms as she held his infant twins in the air with invisible force. "Hello, darling," Vivian smiled, and madness danced in her crimson eyes. "Surprised to see me? Let me ask you something right now. Have you ever trusted someone completely only to discover they were hiding an entire world from you? Tell me in the comments, because this story is about to break your heart before it puts it back together. And if you are feeling this emotional already, just wait. Hit that subscribe button now, because you will not want to miss how this unfolds." Damien raised his hands slowly, every instinct screaming at him to attack, to protect, to destroy the threat to his children. But Vivian was no ordinary vampire. She was a witch hybrid, and those flames could incinerate his twins before he could blink. "Vivian," he said carefully, his voice steady despite the hurricane inside him. "Put them down. Whatever I have done, they are innocent." "Innocent," she laughed, the sound cracking like broken glass. "Like you were innocent when you seduced me? When you made me believe I was special? When you planted your seed in me and then I discovered you already had a human whore and a daughter hidden away?" The twins began to cry, their wails piercing Damien's heart like silver stakes. Lily, with her mother's red hair. Lucas, with his father's dark eyes. 6 months old. Helpless. Dangling in the air while their mother lost her mind. "I never meant to hurt you," Damien said, taking a slow step forward. Vivian's flames grew brighter. "Stay back. You do not get to play the hero now. For 3 years, I gave you everything. I carried your children. I waited in this mansion like a queen while you disappeared for days at a time. And now I know why." She gestured toward the window, and Damien turned to see little May pressed against the glass, disobeying his orders, her eyes wide with terror. "Your little human mistake," Vivian spat. "She looks just like her mother. Does Iris know you visit her daughter in secret? Does she know you watch them through the window like some pathetic ghost who cannot commit?" Damien's jaw tightened. "Leave them out of this. May is a child. So are these," Vivian screamed, shaking the twins. "But that did not stop you from abandoning them night after night to go play daddy to someone else's family." The truth hit Damien like a silver blade. She was right. He had been living half-lives, loving no one fully, protecting no one completely. He had told himself he was keeping everyone safe by keeping them separate. But he had only been protecting himself from having to choose. And now that cowardice was about to cost him everything. The standoff lasted for what felt like centuries. Vivian's flames flickered, her energy draining as she maintained her hold on the twins. Damien did not move, did not breathe, his ancient mind calculating every possible outcome. None of them ended well. Then the front door opened. Everyone turned to see a woman standing in the doorway, her nurse's scrubs rumpled, her dark hair escaping its ponytail, her eyes taking in the scene with growing horror. Iris. May had called her mother too. "Mama," May cried, running to her. "The lady took me. She made me come here." Iris pulled her daughter behind her, her human eyes struggling to process what she was seeing. "Damien," she breathed, and his name on her lips after 6 years was both heaven and hell. "What is happening? Who is this woman?" Why does she have babies? Vivian laughed, delighted by the chaos. Oh, this is perfect. The whole broken family together at last. Tell her, Damien. Tell your precious human the truth. Damien closed his eyes. When he opened them, he looked at Iris with 400 years of regret. Those are my children, he said quietly. I had them with Vivian after I left you. Iris's face crumpled like paper in a fist. You left me because you said you could never be a father. You said immortals should not have children. You said it was impossible. I lied. The words hung in the air like smoke. I lied because I was afraid, Damien continued, his voice breaking in ways he did not know it still could. I was afraid of watching you grow old while I stayed young. I was afraid of loving May so much that losing her would destroy me. So I ran. And I kept running until I ran straight into Vivian, who promised me a love without complications. An immortal partner. Children who would live forever. And yet you still came back to us, Iris whispered. May told me about the man who visits her window. I thought she was dreaming. I could not stay away, Damien admitted. You and May were the only things that made me feel human anymore. Vivian screamed, the flames in her hands exploding outward. Enough. I am done listening to this. You want to be human, Damien? Then watch me take everything human about your life and burn it to ashes. She raised her hands, and the twins rose higher, their cries intensifying. But something unexpected happened. Little May stepped forward, her 6-year-old voice cutting through the chaos with impossible clarity. Stop, she said. Please stop. They are my brother and sister, right? Please do not hurt my brother and sister. Vivian hesitated, something flickering in her crimson eyes. And Damien realized his daughter might be the only one who could end this. Now I need you to do something for me. I poured my heart into crafting this story, and we are right at the moment where everything changes. If you are feeling even a fraction of what I felt writing this, hit that like button. It takes you 1 second, but it tells me you want more stories like this. Do not leave me wondering if I should keep creating. Your support is everything. Vivian stared at the little girl like she was seeing a ghost. The flames in her hands dimmed slightly, her concentration fracturing as May walked closer with the fearless innocence only children possess. Iris lunged forward to stop her daughter, but Damien caught her arm gently. Wait, he whispered. Look at Vivian's face. Something was shifting behind those crimson eyes. Something old and wounded was rising to the surface like a body from deep water. You look like her, Vivian breathed, her voice suddenly small. You look just like her. May stopped a few feet away, tilting her head. Like who? Vivian's lips trembled. My daughter. The one they took from me. The room fell silent except for the twins' whimpering. Damien felt the ground shift beneath everything he thought he knew about the woman he had spent 3 years with. What daughter? He asked carefully. You never told me you had a child. Vivian laughed, but it came out as a sob. Because I could not bear to speak of her. Because every time I looked at you, I saw another chance. Another family. Another life where I would not be the monster who lost everything. The flames extinguished completely. The twins floated gently down into their overturned cribs, still crying but unharmed. Vivian's arms dropped to her sides like broken wings. I was human once, she said, her voice traveling backward through centuries. In 1843, I was a mother. I had a little girl named Clara. She had dark hair like yours, little one. She had eyes full of wonder. What happened to her? Iris asked softly, her nurse's instinct for pain recognizing a wound deeper than anger. Vivian's face contorted. A vampire happened. He came to our village seeking entertainment. He turned me against my will and left me to wake up 3 days later with a hunger I could not control. She pressed her hands against her temples, the memories clearly excruciating. I tried to go home. I tried to hold my daughter again. But I was so hungry. So terribly hungry. And she smelled so sweet. Like honey and sunshine and everything I had lost. Damien closed his eyes, understanding washing over him like cold rain. You killed her, he said quietly. Not as an accusation but as recognition of a tragedy. Vivian nodded, tears streaming down her face like rivers of fire. I killed my baby. I drank from her until there was nothing left. And when I came back to myself, when I realized what I had done, I wanted to die. I begged the sun to take me. But I was too much of a coward to burn. Me did something remarkable then. She walked forward and took Vivian's hand. The vampire flinched like the child's touch was made of silver. But May held on with surprising strength. That was not your fault, May said with the simple wisdom children sometimes possess. The monster who bit you did that. Not you. Vivian crumbled. She fell to her knees, sobs racking her body as centuries of guilt poured out of her. Damien watched in stunned silence as his 6-year-old daughter comforted the woman who had nearly killed his twins. Iris moved then, crossing the room to kneel beside Vivian. Her human hands reached out hesitantly before resting on the vampire's shaking shoulders. I know what it feels like to lose yourself, Iris said gently. After Damien left, I almost gave May up for adoption. I convinced myself she would be better off without a mother who could not stop crying. I drove to the agency 3 times before I turned around. Vivian looked up, mascara running down her cheeks. Why did you turn around? Because May kicked, Iris smiled sadly. Every time I tried to sign the papers, she kicked inside me like she was fighting to stay. Like she was choosing me even when I could not choose myself. Damien felt something crack open in his chest. Iris had never told him this. He had never known how close he came to losing not just her but their daughter entirely. I spent 200 years punishing myself, Vivian whispered. I told myself I did not deserve love. Did not deserve children. Did not deserve anything but darkness. And then Damien came along with his sad eyes and his empty promises, and I thought maybe I could have it all again. She looked at the twins in their cribs, her eyes filling with fresh tears. But I was just repeating the cycle. Taking what I wanted without caring who I hurt. Threatening babies because a man did not love me the way I needed. She turned to Damien with devastating clarity. You never loved me, did you? Damien opened his mouth to lie, to soften the blow, to protect her feelings. But he was done with lies. No, he admitted. I cared for you. I was grateful for you. But my heart never left that apartment 30 miles away. Every night I spent here, I was dreaming of there. Vivian nodded slowly like she had always known. Then why did you stay? Because I was afraid of what choosing them would cost me, Damien confessed. Humans die, Vivian. They grow old and sick and they leave you. I thought if I kept one foot in each world, I would never have to feel that loss completely. Iris stood up, her eyes hard. So we were your backup plan. Your safety net. Something to fall back on when immortality got lonely. Damien flinched at the truth in her words. Yes, he said. And I am sorrier than you will ever know. Can I be honest with you for a second? This part of the story hit me hard when I was writing it. The idea that we sometimes hurt people not because we do not love them but because we are terrified of loving them too much. Have you ever been there? Have you ever pushed someone away because keeping them close felt too dangerous? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and your stories matter to me just as much as the ones I create. The mansion fell quiet after the confessions. Vivian sat on the nursery floor, her back against the wall, looking emptier than Damien had ever seen her. The twins had finally stopped crying, exhausted from the trauma, their tiny chests rising and falling in peaceful rhythm. May sat cross-legged beside them, watching over her siblings with a seriousness beyond her years. Iris stood by the window, arms wrapped around herself, staring at the moon like it held answers. Damien did not know where to stand. For 400 years, he had commanded rooms. He had led vampire councils and brokered peace between ancient bloodlines. But here, surrounded by the wreckage of his choices, he felt like a child lost in a storm. I should go, Vivian said quietly, moving to stand. No. Everyone turned to look at May. The little girl stood up, her pink pajamas wrinkled, her dark hair tangled, her eyes fierce with something that looked almost supernatural. Nobody is leaving, May declared. We are all going to sit down and talk like a family. That is what Mama always says. When things get hard, you do not run. You sit and you talk. Iris let out a sound that was half laugh and half sob. Baby, this is not a normal family situation. So what? May shrugged. Nothing about us is normal. My daddy is a vampire. I have a brother and sister I just met. And this lady tried to hurt them, but she was really just sad inside. That sounds like a family to me. Damien stared at his daughter in wonder. When had she become so wise? When had she grown from the infant he had held in trembling hands to this brave little warrior? He crossed the room slowly and knelt before her. May, he said, his voice rough with emotion. I have not been a good father to you. I have watched from windows instead of walking through doors. I have sent gifts instead of giving time. I have loved you from a distance because I was afraid of what loving you up close would cost me. May reached out and touched his face. Her warm fingers traced the sharp angles of his cheekbones, the immortal features that would never age. You are cold, she observed. I know. But your eyes are warm, she continued. Mama says you can tell if someone loves you by looking at their eyes. And your eyes are very warm when you look at me, Daddy. Damien broke. He pulled his daughter into his arms and held her against his chest, centuries of walls crumbling as tears he did not know he could still produce streamed down his face. She smelled like strawberry shampoo and innocence and everything he had been denying himself. I am so sorry, he whispered into her hair. I am so sorry for every birthday I missed. Every nightmare I was not there to chase away. Every time you needed me and I was too afraid to show up. May wrapped her small arms around his neck. It is okay, Daddy. You are here now. Across the room, Iris wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. She wanted to hold on to her anger. She had earned that anger through 6 years of struggling alone. But watching Damien hold their daughter, watching him finally choose vulnerability over fear, she felt something old and buried stirring beneath the resentment. Vivian watched them with hungry, haunted eyes. The scene before her was everything she had destroyed 200 years ago. A father holding his child. Love without conditions. She had been chasing this feeling through centuries of darkness, and here it was, blooming in the ashes of her rage. I never got to hold Clara like that, Vivian said softly. She was always reaching for me, and I was always too busy. Always working or cleaning or worrying about money. I told myself there would be time. There would always be more time. Her voice cracked. And then there was no time at all. Iris moved before she could think about it. She crossed the room and sat down beside Vivian, their shoulders almost touching. I almost lost May once, Iris admitted. She had a fever when she was 2. 105 degrees. I rushed her to the emergency room, and they told me her organs were starting to fail. I held her in my arms and begged God to take me instead. I promised I would give up everything if she could just survive. What happened? Vivian asked. The fever broke at midnight, Iris said. The doctors called it a miracle. But I never forgot that feeling. That helplessness. That knowledge that love is not enough to protect the people we cherish. Vivian nodded slowly. That is why I was so angry at Damien. Because he had what I lost. He had children and love and a chance at redemption. And he was throwing it all away on fear and cowardice. She looked at the twins, then at May, then at Damien, who was still holding his daughter like she might disappear. I wanted to destroy what I could not have, Vivian continued. I told myself it was justice. But it was just pain looking for company. May pulled back from her father's embrace and looked at Vivian seriously. Do you want to hold them? She asked, pointing at the twins. They are probably scared. Babies like to be held when they are scared. Vivian's eyes widened. You would trust me? After what I almost did? May tilted her head. Mama says people make mistakes when they are hurting. She says the brave thing is to try again. She walked over to Lucas's crib and carefully lifted him out, struggling slightly with his weight. Then she carried him to Vivian and placed him gently in the vampire's arms. Vivian froze, staring down at the infant like he was made of glass. Lucas looked up at her with dark eyes so like his father's. He did not cry. He did not flinch. He simply gazed at her with the uncomplicated trust only babies possess. And for the first time in 200 years, Vivian felt something other than grief. She felt hope. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has made it this far into the story. You could be watching anything right now, but you chose to be here with me, and that means more than you know. If this story is touching your heart, if you are feeling these characters and their struggles, please subscribe to the channel. I stayed up late writing this because I believe in the power of stories to heal and connect. Your subscription tells me to keep going. It tells me that someone out there cares about these worlds I create. Do not scroll away without joining this family. We are building something special here, and you are part of it now. For one fragile hour, the mansion felt almost peaceful. Vivian held Lucas while Iris cradled Lily. May sat between them like a tiny bridge connecting two broken worlds. Damien watched from across the room, afraid to move, afraid to breathe, afraid that any sudden motion would shatter this impossible moment. But peace built on unspoken truths never lasts. Iris looked up at Damien, her eyes searching his face for something she desperately needed to find. What happens now? She asked quietly. Do we all just pretend tonight did not happen? Do you go back to your penthouse and watch us through windows again? Damien opened his mouth to answer, but Vivian spoke first. He will choose you, she said flatly. He always chooses you. Even when he was lying in my bed, even when he was whispering promises in my ear, it was always you he was thinking about. I was just the distraction he used to avoid the terror of real love. That is not fair, Damien started. Vivian laughed bitterly. Fair? You want to talk about fair? I carried your children alone. I gave birth in this mansion with no one but servants to hold my hand. You missed the first time Lily smiled. You missed Lucas's first laugh. You were too busy driving past Iris's apartment like some lovesick ghost. Iris stood up abruptly, still holding Lily against her chest. Is that true? She demanded. While I was working double shifts to keep the lights on, you were out here building another family? Playing house with her while May asked me every night why Daddy never came home? I did not know how to choose, Damien said desperately. I loved you but I could not watch you die. Vivian offered me eternity but it felt like a prison. I was trying to find a way to have both without losing either. So you chose neither, Iris shot back. You gave us both half a man and called it love. The words hit Damien like silver bullets. May tugged on her mother's scrubs. Mama, please do not yell. You said yelling does not solve anything. This is different, baby, Iris said, her voice trembling. This is not a normal argument. This is years of lies catching up. She turned to Damien with tears streaming down her face. Do you know what I told myself every night for 6 years? I told myself that you left because I was not enough. Because I was just a human. Because I could not give you the immortal love you deserved. I blamed myself for not being more, Damien. I destroyed myself trying to understand what I did wrong. You did nothing wrong, Damien said, stepping toward her. Do not, Iris held up her hand. Do not come closer. Do not try to fix this with pretty words and sad eyes. I spent 6 years healing from you. I finally got to a place where I could breathe without feeling like I was drowning. And now you are here, and she is here, and there are babies that look like you, and I cannot do this. I cannot be part of this broken puzzle. She grabbed May's hand and headed for the door. Mama, May protested. We cannot leave. They need us. They do not need us, baby. They have each other. They have their immortal family. We are just the humans he felt guilty about. Damien moved with vampire speed, appearing in front of the door before Iris could reach it. Please, he begged. Please do not go. Not like this. Not again. Get out of my way, Iris said coldly. I will tell you everything, Damien promised. Every secret. Every fear. Every reason I made the choices I made. Just give me 1 hour. 1 hour to explain 400 years of terror. Iris stared at him, her jaw tight, her eyes hard. You had 6 years to explain, she said slowly. You had 6 years of windows and shadows and secret visits. If you wanted me to understand, you would have knocked on my door. You would have sat at my table. You would have been a father to your daughter instead of a phantom she was not sure was real. Damien felt the words cut deeper than any blade. She was right. He had been a coward. Not once, not twice, but consistently for 6 years. He had convinced himself that watching from a distance was protecting them when really it was just protecting himself from the pain of being present. I was wrong, he admitted. I was so wrong, Iris. And I know that saying sorry does not erase the damage. But I am asking you, begging you, for a chance to prove that I can be different. Vivian stood up then, still holding Lucas. Let her go, she said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. Vivian's face was calm now, the madness replaced with exhausted clarity. You cannot force someone to stay, Damien, she continued. Trust me. I tried. I tried with threats and fire and rage. And all it did was make everyone hate me, including myself. She walked over to Iris and looked at her with something like respect. You are stronger than me, Vivian said. You raised a daughter alone. You worked yourself to exhaustion. You survived being abandoned by an immortal who should have known better. If you need to leave, leave. But know that your daughter just saved 2 lives tonight. She walked into a room full of monsters and became the bravest person there. Iris looked down at May, who was watching everyone with anxious eyes. I do not want to go, Mama, May whispered. I want to know my brother and sister. I want Daddy to stop being a ghost. I want us to be a real family. Iris closed her eyes, tears squeezing through her lashes. How can I trust him? She breathed. How can I trust any of this after everything that happened? May hugged her mother's waist. You always tell me that people deserve second chances, May said softly. You always say that everyone makes mistakes and what matters is what they do next. You told me that when I broke your favorite vase and lied about it. Iris let out a choked laugh. That was a vase, baby. This is our lives. But the rule is the same, right? Before Iris could answer, a sound came from outside. Tires on gravel. Doors slamming. Voices shouting in a language older than English. Damien's face went pale. No, he breathed. No, not now. What is it? Iris asked, fear creeping into her voice. Damien looked at her with genuine terror in his ancient eyes. The council, he said. Someone told the Vampire Council about tonight. About the humans. About everything. And that is when the front door exploded inward. Oh no. Oh no no no. We were so close to a breakthrough and now everything is falling apart again. I need to know if you are as stressed as I am right now. Drop a comment telling me what you think is going to happen next. Who called the council? What do they want? And most importantly, will this family survive the night? Also, I have to be honest with you. I see so many people watching these stories, but only a few of you actually subscribe. That hurts a little, not going to lie. I put hours into crafting these emotional journeys for you. I lose sleep making sure every scene hits just right. And it takes you 1 second to hit that subscribe button. 1 second to show me that my work matters. Do not be the viewer who enjoys everything and supports nothing. Join this family. We need you here. 5 vampires entered the mansion like shadows given form. They wore black robes that seemed to absorb the light around them. Their faces were ancient, carved from centuries of cruelty and cold judgment. At their center stood a woman with silver hair and eyes like frozen mercury. She surveyed the scene with the detached interest of someone examining insects. Lord Valerius, she said, her voice echoing with unnatural resonance. What a disappointing scene this is. Damien stepped forward, positioning himself between the council and his family. Elder Seraphina, he said carefully. This is a private matter. The council has no jurisdiction here. Seraphina smiled, and it was the smile of a predator who had already won. No jurisdiction? You have exposed our existence to humans. You have bred with mortals. You have created hybrid offspring that violate every law our kind has upheld for millennia. And you believe this is a private matter? She gestured to the vampires flanking her. They spread out, surrounding the room with practiced precision. The punishment for these crimes is death, Seraphina continued. For you. For your human pets. For the abominations you call children. May pressed against her mother's legs, trembling. Iris pulled her daughter close, her human heart pounding so loud that every vampire in the room could hear it. Vivian stepped forward, still holding Lucas. I called them, she admitted quietly. I turned to her. What? Damien breathed. Vivian's face crumpled with fresh guilt. Before. When I was angry. When I wanted to destroy everything you loved. I sent word to the council about your human family. I told them about May. I told them about Iris. I wanted them to punish you. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I did not know they would come tonight. I did not know they would want to kill the children. I just wanted you to suffer like I was suffering. Seraphina laughed, a sound like breaking bones. The witch speaks truth. She summoned us with promises of scandal and betrayal. And she delivered beyond our expectations. A vampire lord with a human family. Hybrid twins. A web of lies spanning years. This is exactly the kind of contamination we exist to eliminate. She raised her hand, and the other vampires drew blades that gleamed with silver coating. Kill them all, Serafina commanded. Start with the children. No. The word came from Damien, but it was not a plea. It was a declaration. He moved faster than anyone expected, centuries of suppressed power exploding outward as he intercepted the first vampire blade with his bare hand. Blood sprayed from his palm, but he did not flinch. He twisted the blade and drove it through its owner's heart in one fluid motion. The vampire crumbled to ash. Damien, Iris screamed. Another council member lunged toward May. But before he could reach her, Vivian was there, flames erupting from her hands with devastating force. The vampire shrieked as fire consumed him, his ancient body disintegrating in seconds. Vivian turned to Iris, her eyes blazing with desperate redemption. Take the children, she commanded. There is a safe room in the basement. Stone walls. Silver reinforced. They cannot breach it. Go now. I am not leaving Damien, Iris protested. You have to. Vivian grabbed her shoulders. If you die, he will have nothing to fight for. You are his reason, Iris. You have always been his reason. Now go. Iris hesitated, looking at Damien, who was now fighting two vampires simultaneously, his movements a blur of violence and grace. Mama, come on. May pulled her hand. We have to protect the babies. The words snapped Iris into motion. She grabbed Lily from her crib while Vivian placed Lucas in her other arm. Then she ran, May beside her, toward the basement door Vivian had indicated. Behind them, the battle raged. Damien fought like he had nothing to lose, which meant he fought like he had everything to gain. Every strike carried 400 years of regret. Every block defended the family he had almost thrown away. Serafina watched with growing irritation. You would die for humans, she sneered. You would sacrifice your immortal existence for creatures that will wither and rot in mere decades. Damien drove his fist through another council member's chest. I would die for love, he snarled. Something you stopped understanding centuries ago. Love, Serafina laughed. Love is weakness. Love is the chain that drags our kind into extinction. I have watched countless vampires fall because they let mortal attachments cloud their judgment. Then you have watched without seeing, Damien replied. Love is not weakness. Fear of love is weakness. And I am done being afraid. Vivian fought beside him now, her flames creating a barrier that the remaining vampires struggled to breach. She was burning through her energy reserves at a dangerous rate, her hybrid nature straining under the pressure. Damien, she gasped. I cannot hold much longer. You do not have to, he said. You just have to hold long enough. Long enough for what? For me to make a choice. Damien stopped fighting. He stood still in the center of the chaos, blood dripping from countless wounds, his ancient eyes closing in concentration. What are you doing? Vivian screamed. Choosing, he whispered. Finally choosing. Deep inside himself, Damien reached for something he had buried centuries ago. A power he had sworn never to use because the cost was too terrible. The blood bond. The ability to link his life force permanently to those he loved, giving them his strength, his healing, his immortality, but also giving them his death. If he fell, they would fall with him. If they died, he would die with them. It was the ultimate commitment. The ultimate vulnerability. The ultimate proof that he was done running. He thought of Iris, her tired eyes and stubborn heart. He thought of May, her impossible bravery and innocent wisdom. He thought of Lucas and Lily, the twins he had barely known but already loved with desperate intensity. He even thought of Vivian, broken and seeking redemption, fighting beside him when she could have fled. And he chose them. All of them. Light exploded from Damien's chest, a brilliant golden radiance that froze everyone in the room. Seraphina's eyes widened with recognition and horror. "No," she breathed. "The blood bond. You fool. You absolute fool." The light spread outward, flowing through the mansion like liquid sunrise. It found Iris in the basement, curling around her heart. It found May, wrapping her in warmth. It found the twins, settling into their hybrid blood. It even touched Vivian, hesitating at her edges like a question. "Do you accept?" Damien whispered through the bond. "Do you accept this choice? Do you accept me?" In the basement, Iris felt the question pulse through her entire being. She felt Damien's terror and hope, his centuries of loneliness, his desperate desire to finally belong to something real. She could reject it. She could stay human and separate and safe. Or she could choose him back. "Yes," she whispered. "I accept." May giggled as the light tickled her skin. "Yes, Daddy. Yes." The twins cooed in their mother's arms, their hybrid instincts responding to their father's call. Even Vivian, standing in the destroyed nursery surrounded by ash and fire, felt the question reach her wounded heart. "Why?" she asked through the bond. "Why would you include me after everything I have done?" "Because you fought for them," Damien answered. "Because you could have run and you stayed. Because redemption is not earned by being perfect. It is earned by trying again." Vivian sobbed. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I accept." The light consolidated, binding them all together in ways that could never be undone. Damien felt their hearts beating inside his chest. For new rhythms. For new reasons to live. And for new people who would die if he fell. The power surged through him like fire and ice combined. His wounds healed instantly. His strength multiplied beyond anything he had felt before. This was the true power of the blood bond. Not just connection but amplification. Love made literal. Family made unbreakable. He opened his eyes and looked at Seraphina with new resolve. "Leave," he commanded, and his voice resonated with the combined will of everyone he had bonded. "Leave and never threaten my family again. Or I will show you what a vampire with something to live for can truly do." Seraphina backed away, genuine fear flickering across her ancient features for the first time in centuries. "This is not over," she hissed. "The council will hear of this." "Let them hear," Damien replied. "Let them come. I spent 400 years running from love. Now I have something worth fighting for. And I will tear down anyone who threatens it." Seraphina and the remaining council members fled into the night. Damien stood alone in the destroyed nursery, blood bond pulsing warm in his chest, finally understanding what it meant to be truly alive. "Okay, I need to catch my breath, and I know you do too." That was intense. That was everything. Damien finally made a choice, and he chose all of them. He chose love over fear, family over immortal isolation, vulnerability over centuries of walls. But we are not done yet. The council is still out there. The bond is still new. And there are conversations that need to happen between people who have hurt each other deeply. Before we go to the final act, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to make an impossible choice? Have you ever had to risk everything for someone you loved? Tell me in the comments. Share your story. Because that is what this community is about. We are not just watching stories. We are living them. We are connecting through them. We are healing together. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Seriously. You watched this whole journey. You felt every emotion. You are basically family now. Make it official. Hit that subscribe button and join us for good. I promise you will not regret it. The mansion was quiet in the hours before dawn. Iris emerged from the basement slowly, the twins sleeping peacefully in her arms. May walked beside her, one small hand pressed against her chest where the blood bond hummed like a second heartbeat. They found Damien standing in the destroyed nursery, surrounded by ash and shattered furniture, his back to them as he stared out the broken window. He did not turn around when he heard them approach. "I can feel you now," he said softly. "All of you. Every breath. Every heartbeat. Every flicker of emotion. It is terrifying and beautiful, and I do not deserve it." Iris walked up beside him and looked at his profile. 400 years old and still uncertain. Still afraid. Still the same man who had watched her through windows because he could not bear to knock on doors. "You are right," she said quietly. "You do not deserve it." Damien flinched. "But that is not how love works," Iris continued. "Love is not about deserving. It is about choosing. And you finally chose, Damien. After 6 years of shadows and secrets, you finally stepped into the light." She shifted Lucas in her arms and reached out to touch Damien's face with her free hand. He leaned into her palm like a man dying of thirst finding water. "I felt everything when you made the bond," Iris whispered. "I felt your loneliness. Centuries of watching people die while you stayed frozen in time. I felt your terror of loving May and me because you knew you would have to watch us grow old and leave you." Damien closed his eyes, tears escaping down his cheeks. "I was a coward," he admitted. "Yes. But you were also protecting yourself the only way you knew how. I am not saying it was right. I am saying I understand now. The bond showed me everything, Damien. Your fears. Your regrets. The night you stood outside our apartment for 3 hours trying to convince yourself to knock. You knew about that. I felt it. I lived it through your memories. You were so close to coming in. What stopped you?" Damien opened his eyes and looked at her with raw honesty. "You were laughing," he said. "You and May. I could hear it through the window. This beautiful sound of joy that I had never given you. And I thought, she is happy. She is finally happy without me. Who am I to destroy that peace?" Iris let out a shaky breath. "You idiot," she whispered. "I was laughing because May had drawn a picture of our family. Me, her, and a daddy with big dark eyes watching over us like a guardian angel. She never forgot you, Damien. She drew you into every picture. She talked to you every night before bed. She believed you were out there somewhere, loving us from far away." Damien's composure shattered completely. He fell to his knees, sobs racking his immortal body as centuries of suppressed grief poured out of him. May ran forward and wrapped her arms around his neck, her small body pressed against his shaking form. "It is okay, Daddy," she whispered. "You are home now. You do not have to watch from outside anymore." Damien held his daughter like she was the only real thing in the universe. He breathed in her strawberry shampoo and felt her heartbeat synchronize with his through the blood bond. She was part of him now. Forever. No matter what happened, he would never lose her completely. Iris knelt down beside them, the twins still cradled against her chest. "This is not going to be easy," she said honestly. "There is so much hurt between us. So much time we cannot get back. I cannot promise I will not be angry sometimes. I cannot promise the fear will not creep back in. I know, Damien nodded, pulling back to look at her. I know there is work to do. Years of it probably. But I am not running anymore, Iris. I chose this bond knowing it could destroy me. If you die, I die. If May falls, I fall with her. That is not a burden. That is freedom. For the first time in 400 years, I have something worth dying for. Iris leaned forward and pressed her forehead against his. Then start living for us instead, she whispered. That is all I have ever wanted. Damien kissed her then. Soft and tentative at first, like he was asking permission. Then deeper as she responded, for centuries of longing pouring into a single moment of connection. May made a disgusted sound and covered her eyes, and they both laughed against each other's lips. May complained. Can you do that when I am not watching? Iris pulled back, wiping her eyes. Sorry, baby. Grown-up stuff. May rolled her eyes with exaggerated drama. I know what kissing is, Mama. I just do not want to see it. Especially when there are babies present. She gestured at the twins with mock seriousness. Think of their innocent eyes. Damien laughed. Actually laughed. The sound surprised even him. When had he last laughed like that? When had joy felt this natural and unforced? A movement in the doorway caught his attention. Vivian stood there, hesitant and uncertain, looking like she wanted to flee but could not quite make herself leave. The blood bond connected her to them now, which meant she felt everything they were feeling. The love. The joy. The fragile hope building between broken people. I should go, Vivian said quietly. You deserve this moment without me. I have caused enough damage. Iris surprised everyone, including herself. Stay, she said. Vivian's eyes widened. What? Iris stood up and faced the vampire who had nearly killed her children hours earlier. I felt your memories too, Iris explained. Clara. The hunger you could not control. 200 years of hating yourself for something that was not your fault. It was my fault, Vivian protested. I killed my own daughter. A monster forced you to become something inhuman, then left you alone to deal with the consequences. That is not the same as choosing to hurt her. Vivian shook her head, tears streaming down her face. You should hate me. After what I almost did to your babies, you should want me dead. Iris looked at Lily and Lucas sleeping peacefully in her arms. May saved them, she said softly. My 6-year-old daughter walked into a room full of monsters and chose compassion over fear. She saw a broken woman instead of an enemy. And she was right, Vivian. You are broken. But broken things can be mended. Vivian looked at May, who was watching her with those impossible eyes that saw too much and judged too little. You called them your brother and sister, Vivian whispered. You barely knew they existed, and you claimed them as family. May shrugged. Because they are. We have the same daddy. That makes them mine. And you are their mommy, which means you are connected to me too now. That is how family works, right? Vivian let out a sound that was half laugh and half sob. How are you so wise? She asked. You are 6 years old. May grinned. I watch a lot of television. This time everyone laughed. Even Vivian. Even the twins seemed to smile in their sleep. Damien stood up and extended his hand toward Vivian. We are bound now, he said. All of us. I do not know what that means for the future. I do not know how we will explain this arrangement to the world. But I know that the council will come back eventually. And when they do, we will need to stand together. Vivian looked at his hand like it might burn her. After everything I did, she whispered. You would have me in your family? You fought for them, Damien replied. When it mattered most, you chose to protect instead of destroy. That is worth something, Vivian. That is worth a chance. Vivian reached out with trembling fingers and took his hand. The bond between them strengthened, settling into something stable and permanent. Vivian gasped as she felt the full weight of their connection. Iris's stubborn love, May's innocent wisdom, the twins' pure potential, and Damien's ancient devotion, finally directed towards something real. I will spend the rest of my existence making this right, Vivian promised. However long that takes. Whatever it costs. Iris nodded slowly. Then let us start by cleaning up this nursery. The twins deserve a proper room. Not a battlefield. They worked together as dawn broke over the horizon. Damien used his vampire strength to remove the destroyed furniture. Vivian conjured gentle flames to light their way. Iris organized what could be salvaged while May entertained the twins with silly faces and made up songs. It was not perfect. There were awkward silences. Moments when old hurts rose to the surface and someone had to step outside to breathe. Iris flinched when Vivian moved too quickly. Vivian tensed when Damien accidentally stood between her and the exit. The wounds were still fresh, the scars still forming. But they kept working. They kept trying. They kept choosing each other over the easier path of separation. By the time the nursery was restored, the sun had fully risen. Damien stood by the window, watching the light creep across the floor. Normally, sunlight was deadly to his kind. But the blood bond had changed something fundamental in his nature. He could feel Iris's humanity flowing through him, warming places that had been cold for centuries. You are not burning, Iris observed, coming to stand beside him. No, Damien smiled softly. The bond seems to have unexpected benefits. Iris leaned against his shoulder. There is so much we do not know yet, she murmured. So much that could go wrong. I know. Are you scared? Terrified. She looked up at him. Good. That means you are taking this seriously. Damien wrapped his arm around her and pulled her close. I wasted 6 years watching from outside, he said quietly. I am not wasting another moment. Whatever comes next, we face it together. As a family. May bounded over and squeezed between them, forcing herself into the embrace. Family hug, she announced. Everyone has to participate. That means you too, Vivian. Vivian hesitated near the cribs where the twins slept. I do not think I am included in family hugs yet, she said uncertainly. May extracted herself from her parents and marched over to Vivian with determined purpose. She grabbed the vampire's hand and pulled her toward the window. You are included, May declared. I decided. And Mama says I am very bossy, so you should probably just go along with it. Vivian looked at Iris, who shrugged with a tired smile. She is right, Iris admitted. Fighting her is pointless. Trust me, I have tried. Vivian allowed herself to be pulled into the embrace. For one perfect moment, they stood together in the morning light. A vampire lord who had finally stopped running. A human woman who had chosen forgiveness over fear. A witch hybrid seeking redemption. A 6-year-old girl who had somehow become the wisest person in the room. And 2 sleeping infants who would grow up knowing they were loved beyond measure. It was not the family any of them had imagined. But it was the family they had chosen. And sometimes, chosen families are the strongest families of all. Damien pressed a kiss to the top of May's head. Thank you, he whispered. For calling me. for being brave enough to dial that number when everything was falling apart. May looked up at him with her mother's eyes and her father's stubborn chin. "I knew you would come," she said simply. "You always came when I needed you. Even when you thought I could not see you." Damien felt his heart crack open and rebuild itself in the same breath. "I will never hide again," he promised. "No more windows. No more shadows. Just doors and daylight and being present." "Good," May nodded seriously. "Because I have a lot of questions about being half vampire. Like, can I fly? Will I live forever? Do I have to drink blood? Because honestly that sounds gross and I am very picky about my food." Everyone laughed again, and the sound filled the restored nursery like music. Outside, the sun climbed higher. The council plotted in their dark chambers. The future loomed uncertain and dangerous. But inside that room, surrounded by the people he had finally allowed himself to love, Damien felt something he had not experienced in 400 years. Peace. True, unshakable peace. And it was enough. We made it. We made it through the fire and the pain and the impossible choices. And love won. Family won. Healing won. I want to take this final moment to thank you for being here. For watching all the way to the end. For caring about these characters and their journey. You are not just a viewer. You are part of this story now. Part of this community. If this touched your heart tonight, I need you to do something for me. I need you to subscribe. Not because I am asking, but because you felt something. You laughed. You cried. You held your breath during the battle and exhaled during the reunion. That connection we just shared is real. And there are so many more stories waiting for us. Drop a comment telling me what part hit you the hardest. Was it May's bravery? Vivian's redemption? Damien finally choosing love over fear? I read every single comment. I respond to as many as I can. Because this is not just a channel. It is a family. And families talk to each other. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the notification bell. Join the fastest growing vampire love stories community on YouTube. We post new stories every week, and each one is crafted with the same love and care you just experienced. I stayed up late writing this for you. I poured my heart into every word. Please do not leave without showing some love back. It takes 1 second for you, but it means everything to me. Until next time, remember this. Love is not about deserving. It is about choosing. So choose the people who matter. Choose forgiveness over fear. Choose to be present instead of watching from the shadows. You are special. You are valued. You are part of this family now. See you in the next story.